The Young and the Restless spoilers, Saturday's update, the 4th of July, 2026. Welcome back to our channel, you guys. It's another beautiful day to dive into the absolute madness of Genoa City. Grab your coffee, tea, or whatever gets you through the drama, because we have a ton to unpack today. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and let me know in the comments how you're feeling about this week's episodes. Let's get right into the mess. And honestly, I am so exhausted by this show sometimes, but I just can't look away. You guys know what I mean. Today's episode was just a roller coaster of weird pacing, deep cut flashbacks, and character decisions that make me want to scream at my television. But let's start over at the Genoa City Athletic Club, because the whole Nate Hastings situation is really starting to get under my skin. So Stephanie Simmons is hanging out at the GCAC, and she runs into Nate. She casually mentions that she just dropped Dr. Nottingham off at the airport, and Nate gets this look on his face. You know the look. That sad, wistful, puppy dog look he gets whenever someone mentions actual life-saving medicine instead of corporate spreadsheets and hostile takeovers. He tells Stephanie he wishes he could have been there to see it while she was in her element, hyper-focused. And it just makes me think about how much Nate lost. Let's be real for a second. Remember when Devon shattered his hand? That was brutal. It completely ended his surgical career. But Nate has built this whole new life since then, right? He pivoted hard. He became this ruthless corporate shark, completely alienating half his family in the process. But Stephanie is just not letting the doctor thing go. She tells him, completely unprompted, that she talked to a top orthopedic surgeon about his case. Like, wow, talk about overstepping boundaries. But maybe she's right. I mean, I find myself second guessing it. She points out that his injury happened years ago, and medical technology has advanced so much since then. There's a real possibility he could be a surgeon again, if that's what he actually wants. But Nate is so incredibly stubborn. He immediately puts his walls up. He tells her that his life is good now. It's full. It's challenging. It's fulfilling. Is it, though? Is sitting in boardrooms arguing about mergers really what fills his soul? Stephanie backs off, saying she won't interfere anymore, but she tells him she's going to text him the doctor's number anyway. Good for her. Short, punchy moves. And then, right on cue, Lily pops up out of nowhere. She walks up and jokes about whether Stephanie's trying to steal her cousin away. And so Lily asks Nate point blank if he's interested in what Stephanie is selling, which is just classic Lily timing. But honestly, I kind of want Nate to call the doctor. The fans on social media have been begging for Dr. Nate to come back for years. We are all so tired of corporate Nate. Let's get him back in a lab coat where he belongs. Meanwhile, the mood over at the Newman Ranch is just heavy, like suffocatingly heavy. The entire family is gathered around, just playing the waiting game, waiting for news on Nikki's recovery. She's having this massive, dangerous surgery to remove a tumor, and they are all just praying it helps her regain her sight. And let's just pause and acknowledge that Nikki has been through absolute hell lately. Between the blinding headaches, the sheer terror of thinking she's dying, and the fact that Victor is literally manipulating her behind the scenes, because let's not forget what Victor has been doing. While Nikki was drugged out of her mind and terrified for her life, Victor tricked her into signing over her Newman Enterprises shares into a trust he controls. He is literally liquidating her assets while she is on an operating table. Victoria has been getting suspicious that he's looting the estate, but right now, all that corporate backstabbing is paused because suddenly Victor is playing the grieving, nostalgic husband. What is with this guy? One minute he's stealing her life's work, the next he's staring into space, remembering their epic love story. And the writers actually gave us a flashback, a real deep cut flashback to when Veronica Landers shot Nikki. Do you guys remember that? That was way back in the late 90s. Veronica was Sarah's sister. She poisoned Nikki, shot her. It was peak soap opera drama. Victor's just standing there in the ranch living room, remembering how close he came to losing her back then. It's actually kind of moving if you can somehow forget what a manipulative monster he's been for the last few weeks. Okay, maybe I'm being too harsh on Victor. No, wait, I'm not. He's terrible. But you get what I mean. The history is undeniable. 40 years of this toxic cycle. Victoria sees him zoning out and she walks up to him. She asks him, point blank, Dad, don't you think you and Mom can overcome your differences and find your way back to each other? Which is a huge question. The whole Newman empire is built on Victor and Nikki's unbreakable, albeit completely dysfunctional bond. But Victor completely deflects. He just says, the only thing that matters right now is Nikki recovering. Typical Victor, never give a straight answer. Never show your cards. So Victoria and Claire decide they can't take the waiting anymore and head to the hospital, leaving the boys behind at the ranch. Which brings me to the absolute chaotic mess that is Nick, Noah, and Matt Clark. So Nick and Noah stay behind at the ranch, and they are just fuming. They are complaining so hard about Matt, and honestly, I am 100% on their side. Noah tells his grandfather straight up that he doesn't buy Matt's innocent amnesiac act for a single second. And why should he? Matt is a literal monster. He orchestrated that whole nightmare in Vegas. He got Nick hooked on drugs. He terrorized Sharon. He almost got them all killed in that gas station explosion. Noah is traumatized. But Victor defends him. Victor actually reminds Nick that Matt saved his life. Are you kidding me? Victor? The guy is a psychopath. Why does Victor always side with the dangerous outsiders over his own kid? It's exhausting to watch. But Nick has a theory. Nick is trying to play 4D chess here. He tells Victor that if Matt doesn't come back with solid dirt on Kane Ashby, then they'll know for sure that Matt is lying about everything. It's a test, a stupid, dangerous test, but a test nonetheless. And speaking of Matt's little spy mission, we cut over to society. Matt just happens to bump into Kane and Lily. Yeah, right. Bump into. As if anything Matt does is an accident. Kane introduces them, and Matt immediately acts like a total weirdo. He tells Kane that something is bothering him and asks if Kane can spare a minute to listen. Lily, for some reason, just says she's going to leave them to it, which, by the way, what is going on with Lily and Kane? After he literally blackmailed her over Malcolm's bone marrow to get control of Chancellor Winters, they are having romantic sparks. Make it make sense. Who actually believes this is going to end well? But anyway, Lily leaves. And then Matt just straight up confesses to Kane. He tells Kane, Victor doesn't trust you. He wants me to get close to you and find out your next move. I'm like a secret agent. A secret agent. He actually said that out loud. What were the writers thinking with that line? What is Matt playing at? Is he trying to build trust with Kane by betraying Victor? Or is this some kind of double reverse psychology? Because we all know Matt is faking his amnesia. He remembers exactly who he is and what he's doing. Kane is not an idiot. Thank God. He asks Matt if he's really a friend to the Newmans. Matt gives this super cryptic answer about how he thinks Victor cares about him as much as Victor cares about Kane, maybe even more. But Kane warns him. Kane looks Matt dead in the eye and tells him he's not targeting the Newmans, but Matt better go back where he came from, because Victor will never give him what he promised. And Kane would know. Kane has been chewed up and spit out by Victor Newman before. Kane knows exactly how the mustache operates. This whole dynamic is fascinating, but also so clunky. It feels like they are just throwing these two characters together to see what sticks, but I'm kind of here for it. So finally, we go back to the hospital. Victoria and Claire are sitting by Nikki's bed, and it's so quiet and tense in that room. And then Nikki wakes up, and she looks so frail, you guys. She immediately asks Victoria what the surgeon said. Victoria tries to be optimistic, putting on a brave face, saying the results look positive. But Nikki isn't buying the toxic positivity. She knows her own body. She just whispers, but it's not a sure thing. And then she reaches out. She just reaches her hand into the air, trying to find her daughter, and touches Victoria's beautiful face, because she still can't see properly, or maybe she's just terrified she'll never actually see her daughter again. It was such a punch to the gut, just a really short, intensely emotional punch. The acting was incredible. And then the camera pans back, and we see Victor. He's standing outside the room in the hallway, looking through the little window on the door, just watching them, watching his wife suffer. And he has another flashback to Nikki, another moment from their past. It's like he's finally truly realizing what he's about to lose. But is it enough to make him stop his hostile takeover of her assets? Is this nostalgia going to cure his ruthlessness? Knowing Victor, probably not. He'll probably cry over her hospital bed, hold her hand, and then go right out into the hallway to call his broker and sell the rest of her shares. That's just who he is. I don't know, guys. I'm emotionally drained from this episode. Let me know what you think's going to happen next. Will Nate call the doctor? Is Matt going to betray Victor or Kane? Drop your thoughts below.